Patrick Maloney, Warwick resident. I originally wasn't going to speak against this, but I've decided to after hearing everybody else speak. Specifically, Councilman Ricks, who was given a promotion during this meeting to congressman. So I'd like to go back to things that other people said. First of all, I want to comment on the fact that there's been any work whatsoever done on this area without approval of the city council. I know that Rhode Island Airport Corporation says they'll put everything back and it'll be better than ever, and I really appreciate that. But I think it goes back to the fact that people put the cart before the horse, and this isn't the first time this has happened. The mayor had in his budget speed cameras before the council approved it, and the council, I think, has approved it at this point. RIAC started using this public land before the council has approved it. You know, this is a pattern that things are happening without your approval, and I think it's very disrespectful to the council people that are here that put in the work, and it's disrespectful to the taxpayers who want things done on their behalf, and they want to get the most for their money. The other thing that Councilman Ricks mentioned that I thought was very telling is the fact that they won't sign an agreement to use this particular amount of land for anything other than this noise abatement, which is very minimal, 1 to 4 decibels. He said that the spokesperson said that the FAA would refuse to sign. Well, I think we've already shown our hand, and we've shown that we're basically giving them the land because we allowed them to work on it previously. So what I'd like to say is that I'd like the city council to ask for an investigation of anybody who was working with RIAC prior to council approval and providing RIAC access to this land without approval. There were 2 people mentioned, or 2 groups of people mentioned earlier. It's already on record, so I'd like those groups investigated. And I'd like to make sure that in the future, that when we do go out to look for working with entities like RIAC or anybody else, any other private or public entity, that we specifically tell employees of the city that until the council votes, they are to do nothing. I think that's really important because this group over here thinks it's a done deal, and you haven't voted. So it's not a done deal. So they've already gone back to their stakeholders and told them, we know the city's going to go ahead and do this. So let's go ahead and get an appraisal on this land and let's lowball them because we know they're going to do it anyway. So, you know, we can't get assurances that it's not going to be used for anything else. And they're telling us that they're going to give us an amount of money based on it not being residential, which it's zoned as. So I don't care what you're going to build it as. If it's zoned that way, give the city the money for that.
This is where Jim McElroy falls asleep.
In the future. I think that this city council should be very aware.
This is Jim McElroy asleep.
Are we all awake? Thank you. I think that this city council should be very aware that it's inappropriate to take land and use it for whatever you want to, because sometimes you end up having to give it back. Now, RIAC is saying that they want to help the Warwick residents. My question is, why are we building a large berm on their side, on their property, if it's to help the residents? I want to make sure we get an appropriate price. And then finally, I'll say, did the public get a chance to speak publicly regarding the 20-year plan? And then I'll say that if we are allowing the public to talk about these long plans, that we should also allow the public to speak about shorter plans, 5-year plans. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else that would like to speak against this project at this time?